Welcome to the very first down playbook, youth football chalk talk. And this is going to be the first of 6 Tuesdays, not completely in a row. We're going to take the 4th of July week off. But what we're going to do is we'll try to cover a little bit of youth football each and every week, maybe a couple offensive formations and a defense. And we're not going to get real granular with it. What we're going to do is we're just going to try to give you some of the overlays of what's good and maybe what's not about each formation, and then also talk to you about defense, just how to teach the fits and different things. Now, the real reason we're doing this though is we want to get your questions. We've been doing this now, first down playbook, for 3 or 4 years, and we get a lot of questions, and we just have gotten enough lately where we felt like we need a format. We need to have a place where people can come and be comfortable and ask their question. Now, got a background here. My name is Charlie Coiner. I own the First Down Playbook. I coached for about 30 years, and I had a decent career. And the one thing I learned after coaching 30 years that nobody has all the answers, and there are no dumb questions. So I want you to feel comfortable. Whether it's I got Kendall Atcho here, who's works at First Down Playbook as well. And if you've got questions, just email them or live chat or text or however, just get the questions to us and we'll try to get them answered. Once again, no dumb questions. And if there's any gurus out there, then this probably is not the place for you. This is going to be a place where we try to help everybody. Also want to encourage you before we get started here, you want to hang out to the end of the Chalk Talk, because we'll be giving away one free season pass to First Down Playbook. And we'll announce that right at the end. I don't know exactly when the end is going to be. This is scheduled for 30 minutes. It may go 40, 45, depending on how many questions we get. And then the last thing we want to say is anyone out there listening, you might want to write down the word Chalk Talk 64. We'll talk a little bit more about it at the end. But we are going to offer a 25% discount on all of our First Down Playbook products to anybody here tonight listening. And once again, I'll come back to that. I'll just say right now, though, this will be the biggest discount that we offer this year, just to show our appreciation for your dedication, being an early bird, trying to work on your youth football playbook already, and also for being a part of our first youth football chalk talk. So let's do this. Let's get in here. And once again, Kendall is standing back, waiting for your questions. But I want to talk tonight just about 2 offensive formations. Excuse me, I'm in the varsity section here. Need to get down here into the youth section. And the double wing and jumbo is where I want to start. And we've got 12 formations. As you can see, we'll cover all of them over the next 6 weeks. So when you're talking about the double wing formation, and you're looking, you can see that as you scroll down and look at the tiles, the one thing that you're going to notice is that you see an awful lot of misdirection when you get the double wing. And that's because really the double wing is a very close kin to the wing tee, which is, commonly run in a lot of high schools. I know I went back to my high school this past year for a homecoming, and they were running a lot of plays here in our youth football playbook. But I'm going to open up one of them, and I want to just look at the formation to start with. So you've got 2 wings. And the first thing I always encourage youth coaches to look at is look at your personnel. I mean, you don't have the advantages that, we had when we were in the NFL, where we could draft people and pick up players, and even in college where you could recruit to your system. Oftentimes what you're going to do is you're going to end up with who you're going to end up. So if you look up in your football team and you've got a lot of backs, all right, including your quarterback, the double wing is something for you to consider, because you're, oftentimes when you've got 3 backs on your football team, the problem is, who do I get the ball to? How do I keep them all happy? You can have a disgruntled 8-year-old too. So what we recommend is that if you've got a lot of backs, this is a good formation for you to look at. Your other personnel, you notice there are no wideouts in this. So if you have bigger kids and you want to line up, and you can adjust the splits to what you're going to do. But essentially, if you look at the double wing formation, you're really looking at a formation that is designed to run the ball with misdirection, but you also have the ability to have a little power football. Now, the next thing I'd say that you're going to look at with the double wing is that the wings give you leverage. I mean, you're out here looking, depending on how, and we've got this versus a 6-2, and I'll show you some different looks here, but depending on how they're going to line up, depending also on the size of your wing, you have the ability to block down and get out here, maybe get the running back up on a corner in a hurry. And so the other things that we look at are that you have the ability to be multiple. And what I mean by that is you see almost every play that we have. Doesn't have to be this way, but you see that we've got a player coming in motion. This is our 3-back coming in motion here. Could just as well have been the 2-back coming in motion, and we could be running that counter play back over here. So just understand that you could snap the ball without any motion and let your wings, pretty much end up like tight ends. But most of the time when you've got this, before the ball is snapped, you're going to bring one of these backs in motion. And yes, the defense will adjust more than likely, but still you're sitting there in a wing T formation, either to the left or the right, with just a couple steps by either wing here. Now let's take a look at just one play. Obviously, we're not going to take a look at all the plays in the first down playbook. This is a counter. All right, we call it a 2-back counter just because the 2-back is carrying it. Now, if you look at this, obviously this play is coming off of a play where you've either handed it to the 4-back at some point over here to the strong side. We call the strong side where the tight end, the Y is. And you also have an option that is in this in this formation to where you would be optioning, taking it to the 4, and then the 1 and the 3 would be coming to the strong side. So this play is obviously run as a counter to that. All right. So I just want to talk about some of the ways that this is an advantage. And the reason I want to talk about it, because I think that, like I said earlier, you're going to see a lot of misdirection when you use this formation. So right here, you've got the initial fake, the quarterback coming out. All right. The 4-back is going to start a step and then come back and counter and actually get up on the front side backer. And you're going to try to get a double team on the first thing inside of the in-man on the line of scrimmage. All right. And then you're going to essentially block on the backside with your guard, center, and backside guard. Now, you always have to block back with the lineman who is right next to any offensive lineman who's pulling. See it all the time where people are pulling people at the youth football level and they don't block back. You have to block back, or else this end right here is going to end your play before it ever starts, particularly on a counter play like you're looking at here. So you've got the guard blocking back. The Y, the tight end, is going to cut off. Now the guard wants to pull and get up inside the line of scrimmage as close to this double team as they can, right? Because ideally what you want is you want that tackle, to kick that outside backer out, and you want the 4-back will probably find his way up in there. But what you've got to do is you've got to make it to where the 2 can get up inside, and that's a tough angle for that 2-back. As you start wide, he's got to put his left foot in the ground and try to get up inside of that pulling tackle right there. All right, so obviously we got that backer coming back across, but you're probably going to get some action to the strong side before you do that. All right, so let's just take a look here. All of our plays, what we do in first down playbook, and obviously you can edit all these plays. You can come in and change the names, the numbers, change the blocking scheme if you choose. But let's take a look at an odd front right here, a 5-3. And so you're looking instantly at a 5-down defensive line with 3 backers, all right? And you've got essentially the same rules. Try to make sure that your plays have rules, because if you just draw up to block whatever front there's put up there, and all of a sudden the defense changes, that tight end right there, the F tight end, he needs a rule, and his rule needs to be block on to inside. And so he's going to double team this head up tackle right here. Everybody's going to block back. The guard's going to block back, and the tackle's going to pull and kick out. And so essentially you're looking at the same style of play right there, all right? But you've got it versus an odd front, all right? Now, once again, we have it versus a 6-2, a 4-4. Here's an even front, kind of similar to a 6-2, but your backers have more pass responsibility and maybe off of the ball, all right? I think we've got a question coming in right now before we get on to the to the jumbo formation. What do you got, Kendall?
John Evans said, coaching 9 and 10-year-olds, I have 2 light but very fast wide receiver types. Would you recommend double wing?
I would say, John, the question is, John's asked, he's got 2 wideouts, all right, that are fast, and they're good players. Here's a couple things I'm going to say about that. We have formations, and let me go back here to the youth offense, and I just want to show you. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves and start talking about formations that we're going to do in the future. But, John, there are formations here, whether it be trips or maybe pro-I where you get one of them flanked out, or even we've got a spread offense down here too, and a 2-back slot. As you can see, all of these formations have wideouts that can flex out and give you theoretically a passing attack. But now I just want to point out one thing, and this is a big deal to me when I start talking about youth football. And I'm going to bring up shoot formation here, and I'm just going to bring up all hook and to answer John's questions. And we'll get the shoot formation down the road. But you've got a good situation right here with what John's asking about. Let me see if I can get this thing to speed up a little bit. So what John's asking about is it going to be better for him to run a formation that flanks out a little bit? And my answer would be yes, but it's all about number 1 right here. It's all about your quarterback. You have to be very careful, John, because if you play somebody that understands, if your quarterback cannot get the ball out there to a hook, to a curl, can't throw it to a slant, then really you are probably kidding yourself. And what's going to happen is they're going to take their corners and man up here and man up there, and they're going to load the box on you. And I don't know your rules. Maybe there are rules out there that say you can't blitz or you can't bring pressure, but you have to be careful because they're going to take away the run game with numbers, and essentially they're going to make your quarterback get the ball out of his hand quick enough. So I guess my answer is this. We draw all of these plays up thinking that these are 12 and under players. And so having considered that, I would say just be real careful before you start widening this out, because you will even have some guys that'll cheat the corners halfway in between and dare you to throw the ball down the field and just have that free safety rally to it. So I hope I'm making sense right there about the question. Okay, we got another question here with 2 wideouts. Could he lose the tight ends and go with two wideouts? Yeah, well, I don't think that's just the question. Is that the John question? Okay, well, we got kind of the same question right there. Let's go back to the formation, double wing, all right? The question that you could have here would be, could you take the 2 and I guess the other wing, the 3, and flex those out? If you did, you'd be in a 2 tight formation. I think that's the question. And yeah, that would be a different type deal but you're totally out of a double wing when you do that. To me, that's just a good old fashioned, some people will call it an airplane set. I would just call it 2 tights, and your 3 back would be out here and your 2 would be out here. Now, what you've done is maybe you've created a situation where, once again, you can protect a little more and give your quarterback a chance to get the ball down the field to the 3 or the 2. But be very careful, because, once again, nothing says that they have to put a whole lot of effort into the coverage right here, and they can actually load that box up still with 9 men in the box and just put single coverage on these 2. So I hope that answers the question. If not, just hit Kendall up with another one. All right, got another question, Kendall?
Nay asked, she said she has 2 7- and 8-year-olds who are new to playing and need a few easy beginner plays.
Okay, well, let me go. I'm going to go right here to our next formation. All right. Nay is asking that, she says she's got would you say
7- and 8-year-olds.
7- 8-year-olds. All right. And it's a great question. All coaches need to try to keep things very simple, right? Because if you don't, then you're going to get yourself in trouble. And I don't care if you're coaching on Sundays or if you're coaching a 7- or 8-year-old. But I'm going to open up right here our other formation, all right, that we're going to cover tonight. We call it jumbo. So when you open this up, all right, you're looking at what we just call a blast play. All right, it's just a name for a play to where essentially you've got a guy blocking, a guy or a girl, I guess, blocking the person over top of them. So essentially, Nay, what you would be doing on this play is you just would be base blocking, okay? And you would tell your lead blocker, they would block the front side backer, and your center or whoever is uncovered would be coming off on the backside backer. And then it's just a simple play where the quarterback would open up to the strong side, hand it to your two back. And so it's straight ahead football. You know, you're looking at a 6-2. Now let's take a look at it. And it'd be the same thing if you flipped it and just ran it the other way. The rules would all be the same. Block the person over top of you. The 4 back would go to the front side, and the 2 back would do the same. And it's important for your quarterback, after they hand that ball off, to really come out of that bootleg fake, because that'll do a good job of holding this backer right here. All right, so the center can block him. And it'll even hold this cornerback a little bit. Now, let's go take a look at this same play, all right, versus let's go look at it versus a 4-4, all right? Same thing, all right? What you've got right here is you've got the backers are off the ball a little more, playing the pass, but you've got really the same rules. Everybody is trying to block the person on them, all right? The uncovered lineman is coming off on the backside backer. Now, you'll notice on the backside right here that we're trying to get this guard to come inside to make sure they cut off that tackle, because he's actually playing inside out of that guard. Let's take one more look here at a 5-3. So as you can see, Nay, and anybody else, if you're looking just for simple plays, all right, I think right here our second formation, and it's not exclusive to jumbo, but jumbo gives you an opportunity to run something really simple to where you're lining up and you're telling your players, I'm blocking on, pretty much on the outside, front side. And if I don't have anybody on me, what I want to do in this situation with 3 linebackers, now you've got 2 uncovered guys. You've got both guards uncovered, and now this guard will help the tackle with the sandbacker, and this guard will help the center with the nose up to the wheelbacker, and now you've got the 4 back on the mic. Now, we do a pretty good job with First Down Playbook of giving you coaching points with every single play. Because once again, we think it's important to have rules. You could come in if you wanted to, and I'm just going to hit the edit button here just for a second to show you, because the more that you can personalize a play, the better off you are. I mean, if you got Michael Adams and he's going to be this player right here, then to me, what you can do is you can come in and start putting in initials and things like that. Anything that you can color code, anything that you can give initials, anytime you can make the rules really simple for the players, the better off it is. And of course, what you can do is you can name this play and then save it yourself. All right, let me get back here to the jumbo formation again. I'm not going to save that play. I'm just going to leave it. Keep the questions coming. These are good questions. I mean, once again, everybody's got a different situation and everybody's at a different level. And I hope I'm answering. If I don't answer your question, don't be shy about just saying, hey, that's not what I meant. And Kendall will just get it to me. So let's go back. I want to go back into jumbo here just for a second. Because I just want to take a look at this, because that's not the only play. If you start looking at like a blast keeper would be a good play. I'm not going to open up all the plays right here, but a blast keeper is just the same play, Nay, and now the quarterback just keeps it around the outside edge. And so there are a lot of very basic plays as you're looking here. And the good thing about First Down Playbook, we're not even opening these plays up, but you can kind of go down and look and see that they're really pretty straightforward with the jumbo. And really, you know, I think the thing about double wing is that it might be a little more complicated because you've got a lot of misdirection, but we have plenty of plays that are very simple in First Down Playbook. Kendall, what you got?
Do you recommend a standard blocking rule for O-line, like gap on down or double?
Who's asking? Is that just a
John?
All right, John, here, that depends on what you're running, okay? So let's do this. Let's go. I'm trying to find a play here where let's just take a look. Here's an ISO to the weak side, all right? Now, Yes, you want to give rules right here. All right, so if I am blocking an isolation play where I'm inserting the fullback on the front side backer, very similar to the play we just looked at, right? Except you run it to the weak side. Everybody on the front side just needs to be hat on hat. This is not down blocking, all right? This is just base blocking. You've got the fullback on the front side backer. Now, the reason I brought this play up is now you're on the back side and nobody's pulling. So in a situation where you get that, what we talk about is just zone blocking. Now, zone blocking can be very difficult for a young player to understand because you've got two guys that are working and you want one of them to go up to the next level and block the linebacker. So that's really hard for sometimes a 7 or 8 year old to understand. But the way that you want to teach it is you want to teach them, if you're going to teach a zone block, to err on the side of stay on this tackle as long as you need to. If this guard never gets off, so be it. Make this linebacker make the play over the top. And at some point, what's going to happen is these two will get a feel for when they can come off. And this tackle right here will learn how to bump that guard up. And as you can see, everybody understands that you've kind of got to lose a little ground, or you really got to get going to get inside of your backside defenders. But this is an example of base, all right, with backside cutoff. Now, John, I'm going to get to your question here in a second. I don't know that we've got any down blocks on the front side of jumbo, but I guarantee you we do with double wing. But let me check jumbo out here first. Let's see. I'm looking through here. All right, I'm gonna bring up just it's not a down option scheme like you may be asking about, but here's just a pretty simple quarterback sweep to the weak side in jumbo. All right, and so this is a little different. On the backside, you've got the same deal going on. You don't have any pullers, so everybody's either going to be soloing, or in some defenses, as you get in here and look at it, they may end up being where they're going to have to zone block like I just showed you. But over here on the front side, once again, if someone is pulling and we got the guard pulling to wrap for the outside backer in a 6-2, meaning that what you're hoping is going to happen here, if this backer is collisioning your tight end and riding them down, trying to get their hands on that F tight end so that they can't block that in, then the tight end will go get on the end. The tackle will get on the tackle. This guard will pull and wrap and try to get on the outside shoulder of this backer. Now, in the event that that doesn't happen, the four-back is going to stay wide right here and try to take the outside part of that backer. And then you've got the two-back is even going to add on to that. And so your quarterback is going to get out here with quite a few blockers in front. You may even have somebody for this corner. So this is an example, John, of down because you got a puller. All right, now let me try to go back here, because the rule there would be uncovered, block back. All right, if you're covered, block on to back, and if you have somebody outside of you, you would get some help. So let's go in here and take a look at a double wing. All right, let me see if we've got some type of option that'll probably answer your question here. All right. I'm not sure we do. I don't think we have any options in the double wing. So let me go get a play that does. Once again, we'll skip ahead here a little bit. I'm sure that we do in wishbone. All right, because John's question is more about having rules for your front side and your back side, and it's a great question. So right here. Here's a dive option to the strong side out of the wishbone. And so, John, to answer your question, our rules on this play would be don't block the end man on the line of scrimmage no matter what, because the quarterback is going to read that, and we kept it simple right here, either going to hand off to the fullback or keep it. Now, everybody on the front side, John, the rules would be this. I'm uncovered. I'm not blocking the end man on the line of scrimmage if I'm at Y, so I block down. I'm the tackle, I'm covered, all right? So we're going to block down, secure the edge first. If the Y can get up on the next level, he will. All right, guard, I'm covered, block my guy, all right? Now, I am from the center back, once again, it wouldn't make much sense to be blocking back. So what we're going to do is step this guy play side, all right, and work up to the backside backer. Everybody on the backside is going to cut off. I just want to show you one more picture before we get to another question, all right? So on the front side here, once again, now look at it. Covered, block on, the tight end is blocking back. The center's covered, nobody's on the guard, he blocks back. So really the rule is you just understand who you're not blocking, the read key here. If I'm not covered, I'm blocking back. If I'm covered, I'm blocking the man on, and then we will work it out who goes to the next level. All right, Kendall, what we got for a question?
Do you recommend any of these plays for middle school football?
If you're talking about middle school, here's what we do. It's a good question. We get it a lot. And so I want to go back here. And here's what we do with First Down Playbook. We have divided up the varsity at the top. We consider these plays to be 13 years old and above. Down here with the youth, we consider it to be 12 and under. Now, I will just say this. Who asked the question? Is it? Okay, so if you're in here and you've got a kid and he or she is 11 or 12 years old and they can throw the ball all over the park, then maybe jumbo is not the formation for you. I'll promise you that if you've got a quarterback that can throw, it's all about the quarterback now. You can line up in any formation you want to, but I will promise you this, and I'm going to say it again because I think it's important, and a lot of people get mad at me because I say it. But if you come out in this youth offense right here and you line up in this formation right here and your quarterback cannot throw the ball, all right, meaning a spread formation, then you've got problems because they are going to shut you down. Let me just use shoot here. It's probably a better look. If you come out in this formation right here and you want to spread the ball sideline to sideline and you want to do all of that, you can do it. And we've got plays in here where you can do it. We've got probably better plays than that in the varsity section with over 35,000 plays in First Down Playbook. Then you would imagine we've got a little bit of everything. But if you do this now, if you come out and spread the field and they don't necessarily have to respect your wideouts, you're asking for a lot of confusion in here. But I guess any of these plays, to answer your question, are designed for normal youth players 12 and under, all right? And most of it's all about, once again, that guy that takes a snap, all right? Because if that guy that takes the snap can control the game, then that defense has to play a lot different. If he can't control the game with his arm, you're going to get one high safety, and you're going to get man free at the most, and you're going to get a loaded box, and you actually might get pressure. All right, let's change up here a little bit, and let's go take a look at the defense. And I just want to take a look at the 6-2. And as you can see, we've got a base. We've got different adjustments off of it. We've got where you can pinch the ends. We've got an inside pressure. We've got an outside pressure we call alpha and bravo. We've even got a free safety pressure. We've got a saw X to bring the salmon wheel underneath and a slant to the strong side. But I want to just talk to you tonight just about base defense. And you can see what we try to do now, gang, is we try to help you with the coaching points. We try to get you lined up with a defense. But we actually also try to do most of the work for you. A lot of you out there are busy moms and dads. And, if in some cases, if you didn't coach the football team, then maybe nobody else would. And so we understand that you don't have a lot of time to come home and be drawing. So what we try to do is do a lot of this for you. Now, I'm going to go to the edit mode here. I've got it versus a double wing. As you saw, we've got this drawn up against about 15 to 17 different formations. But when you're teaching defense, all right, the thing that you want to keep in mind is always you want to start talking about alignment and assignment. Now, we call this a 6-2 because of this. And because, once again, it goes back to the question we just got about, are these offenses good for middle school? Are these defenses good for middle school? This right here at middle school, if you're talking about 13, 14-year-olds, would pretty much be a short yardage goal line defense. But if that quarterback is 9 years old back here, then this would be a very common youth football defense, meaning that you've got 6 defensive players all committed to the run. Now, when you do that, it's just like in the NFL. If you were to play a goal line defense, you're playing pure man coverage, all right? Meaning no one is free. There is no free safety involved here. This corner is going to cover the wing, all right? This backer right here is going to cover that tight end. This backer is going to cover that tight end. That corner is going to cover the wing, and the free safety is going to be in charge of the running back, all right? So now, when you start talking about the run game, all right, and this back, you got to start talking about, first of all, before we get that far, you need to start talking about alignment, all right? The alignment for the tackles is what we call a 2, all right? Inside eye, a 2-eye, both tackles. We've got the ends in a 7 technique on the tight end, and we're about to release a how-to and a help section for this. This end is it's kind of a mirrored defense. You've got your your wheel backer and your Sam in playing what we call a crease technique. We want to crease that right now so that we have to make this wing become a blocker, because the moment that wing blocks, that corner has to show up on the outside. All right. So what we want to do right here, all right, is we have taught everybody that this is the A gap between the center and the guard. There's an A gap on the other side too. There's a B gap in between the guard and the tackle. There's a C gap between the tackle and tight end. And there's even a D gap between the tight end and wing here. So the way to teach your players is you teach their alignment by technique, but you also have to teach them, I have a gap responsibility. And that gap responsibility will change depending on which way the ball flows. So let's say, for instance, we just saw this play on the other side, right? When we were looking at double wing, told you that all it takes is a very short motion right here. And now you're going to get probably some type of option where the running back is coming here, all right, and the quarterback's coming down the line of scrimmage, can either hand it to him, or you've got a pitch coming here, right? But at the end of the day, all right, and I'm just going to add a line here to show this. This ball is coming this way, all right? And so now if I'm sitting here on the backside and I'm coaching my defense, I've got to coach gap responsibility. So that tackle right now knows he's an A-gap player. He needs to keep his nose in that A gap. This end understands he's a C gap player. He's got to keep his nose in that C gap. The wheel needs to crease and be the D gap. The corner is contained. They need to be outside. Now, you've got a gap that's open right here. So you better have the second level backer fit up in the B gap right there. That running back, if he's a blocker, can actually make it 2 more gaps. So if that happens, you can teach this backer right here to take it on either way you want. But let's just say he takes it on and turns everything back. He's turning it back to the tackle in the A gap. You've got your end in the D gap. And now this backside backer can't get in too big a hurry. But if he turns that ball back, there he is. Now, if this ball continues on to the outside, then obviously you're going to get some scrape action with your 2 backers. But the point is that when you're teaching defense, you need to teach their alignment and then their assignment. And then you need to teach if the ball goes to them or away from them, they have gap responsibilities. And that's the way you teach it. There's nothing like having a walkthrough with your youth football defense. And I just want to show you something real quick right here. We got a couple questions that we got to get to. One of the many advantages of First Down Playbook is that when I come in, and let's go and just real quick take another look at a different formation, is that if you want to have a walkthrough and teach your players, assignments, well, you have to have the other group, to show them the plays. All right. So let's take a look at, since we're on jumbo and double wing tonight, let's just go ahead and take that. And when we open this play up, all right, what you're going to notice is that when you hit the edit, when you get to the edit functionality, then this play becomes 4 plays. All right. So if I come over here and I edit this play, right? Once I do that, I can do everything that I was talking about just now with our defense. But if I flip this play vertically, now I'm sitting there and I can line my offense up and we can actually walk through some plays just like I did on the other side of the ball, but I can show gap responsibility. But I can teach both sides of the ball with this one play. And I obviously can teach left and right, and you can move the players around, do whatever you want to. All right, Kendall, what question did you have?
First, what defense do you recommend for 8U?
For 8 and under, I would definitely recommend the defense that we're running tonight, right? And I would say a 6-2 just because the quarterback, it's all about the quarterback, right? So if you're looking for a defense, and I have never seen an 8-year-old that can take the game over with his arm or her arm, so I'm going to assume that the quarterbacks that you're playing are not. The difference, and I'm not even going to open it up here. You can kind of see it from the towel. The 4-4 and the 6-2 are kind of the same defenses, but with the 4-4, you've got the backers back off a little bit because you're a little more worried about the pass. Now, with the 6-2 right now, all right, and let's just go in here and take a look at the 6-2 base again. With an 8-year-old, I wouldn't be worried about playing a 6-2 even if they came out and lined up in empty, all right? If they came out and lined up and there was an 8-year-old quarterback, I would line up exactly like this and not worry a second about it. I would pinch my ends inside. I'd cover all the gaps with the people up front with 6 men. Now, you could also take that Will Backer and stack him, take the Sam Backer and stack him if you want to do that. But I would man up, and then in some instances what I would do is I may even cheat these people inside. I don't see an 8-year-old quarterback throwing the ball out to the wide out. And I probably don't see him throwing it to the slot. So my whole thing right here is if you're playing 8-year-old football and someone comes out in this formation, what they're doing is they're spreading you out so that guy right there, the quarterback, can take the ball and run it. Don't let them do it. If they're going to spread you out with an 8-year-old quarterback, make sure that 8-year-old quarterback can throw the ball. So I don't know if that answers the question or not, but I think for 8-year-old, 6-2 is a great defense. Now, I don't want to take anything away from, playing an odd front. You could actually play a 5, what we call a 5-3 or 5-3 bear. We're going to get to those later, and still have 8 men in the box. Maybe it's a little bit the same thing that we were talking about with double wing. Do I have a lot of linebackers? Maybe I have better linebackers than I do, guys that aren't quite as big. So I could play a 5-3. I'll just look at it here versus a split back. You got the same thing, all right? Because really you got 5 guys up front and 3 backers on the line of scrimmage. Okay, you got another question, Ken?
Would you recommend 3-5-3 defense for middle school football?
Well, we keep getting this question, and I'm going to keep answering it the same way. I'm going to keep talking about the quarterback. Let me take you for a second and show you if your quarterback can play, meaning at a high level, and you're playing somebody, and yeah, I don't know what middle school is. Maybe middle school means 13, 14-year-olds. I think you should be over here. I would go into 3-4 strong or weak. All right. A 3-3-5 is nothing more than a 3-4 nickel. All right. So I'd come in here. I don't know. Let's play cover 3, which is a good old-fashioned strong roll zone. We'll go into 1 back. And if you'll notice now, you're going to notice a whole lot different looking plays over here. All right. You're going to notice, and I'll just go find just a kind of a balanced 2x2 right here. But if you're playing a quarterback that can take the game over, now I think you should be over here in the varsity section. I think you should be playing your gap responsibility, because once again, now you're going to want to get into a deal to where when you edit these plays, all right, little different deal. Now you're going to want to be confusing the quarterback with coverages. You're going to want to be, you notice right here that we're playing strong roll, all right, but we're lining up in 2 deep. So I don't want to go down the rabbit hole with varsity, all our varsity stuff. But if you're playing with a quarterback or against a quarterback that can take the game over with his arm, I would say that you need to be in the varsity section.
Do CBs have contained in 6-2? We got killed on sweeps, jet, and toss last year.
They do, and that's one of the weaknesses. But let's go back and take a look. That is an excellent question. Whoops, I keep going to the varsity deal here. The hard part about really football at any level is that a lot of times the corners are lined up out there. They're your smallest player, and that's true in the NFL if you stop and look at it. And the best offensive coordinators in the NFL, what they try to do is they try to get the corners to have to tackle. And if you'll look at a lot of our plays on first down playbook with let's just go open up just the split backs here. If you look at some of our plays in the youth offense on first down playbook, we don't block the corner. We block everybody else. And when people ask who's got the corner, we say the running back, because the running back is a pretty good athlete, probably a little bit bigger in the corner and all that. So here's a 6-2, and now they spread out a little bit. Probably not a great example because your corners are out here covering. Now, let me go back and get something tight like we were talking about. I think what's going to happen when you get in that situation, you're going to have to protect your corners a little bit, okay? I think our live stream is holding up our website a little bit. Let's go back in here. All right, 6-2. Let's go versus let's go right here. Well, let's just go back here to double wing because that's probably where they have to tackle the most. So if you get in that situation, the adjustments that you can make are this. And that's the good thing about, once again, first down playbook. So you can still dedicate 6 guys to the line of scrimmage. And you're right. Once you get a down block, I said it a little bit earlier, double wing, you get a down block right there, that corner better show up. Now, typically the corners are, they, like you just said, they need to be contained. All right. But if you get that, you also have the deal to where, how are you going to fit this up? All right. If this guy, if he's in the crease, all right, he blocks down, all right, and he blocks down, you got to believe he's in the C gap right there. Then what you need to do if you're having trouble with his corner is you can tell this backer to look at, he's just got to mirror the back, right? If the back is tight, he's going to stay just slightly outside because he's going to turn it back to this backer here, all right, who's going to show up now in the B gap. But you need that backer to show up so the corner can just turn it back. Now, the problems I see youth football, and what happens is you teach the corner he has contained, and he thinks that means run up the field like this. A couple things happen when your corner runs up the field. One is that you've created a seam, and let's say that this guard right here was pulling, all right, and it could end up actually blocking that corner. And so you've got a huge seam right here for the run game. The other thing that happens is that taking himself completely out of the play, all right? So contain means that you want to take on any blocker that you get. Once again, not a lot of fun if the kid's not very big, but you want to take it on and you want to squeeze it, and you might have to actually play low and take the guard out right here. But you've got to restrict the lane right here to help the backer, help everybody else flowing over the top. But a corner with contain, let's just look at the other side over here. The thing that you could do if you're having problems with it is you could come in and play. Let me bring this guard back over here. You could come in and still play a 6-2, but you could play a 3 technique. All right. Shade him out here. So a B gap responsible. And then what you could do is you could take this end and play them in a 9 technique, which is outside eye. All right. And now take your Sam backer and let them be your contain. And then your corner, all right, still has man coverage right here. But what you're doing is you've got the edge taken care of with the Sam. You've got a 9 technique in the crease right here. And now with your backers, I've got to get back over here, all right, to where they would be lined up. But now your backers, all right, understand with flow to them, all right, you got to hit it downhill, all right, keep his outside arm free in the B gap. You got your tackle in the A gap. Now your backside backer can be slow to go, A gap to scrape. But the other thing that you might want to do is change it up. You still can play a 6-2, but change that responsibility up from time to time of who's got contained. You better protect this guy out here because you're right. A good offensive coordinator at the youth level, middle school level, or whatever level, they're going to try to find this guy and make him tackle. And the other part of it is, once again, if this quarterback can't hurt you deep, this guy back here, I mean, he needs to be downhill in a hurry, filling inside out, helping out with the run game.
If the guard pulls, how do you tell your D-line to play it?
Okay, another good question. I'm going to get a clean picture here. We just recently did a blog on that. We'll try to find that here at some point, but let's go here. And let's go find, all right. Let me get a clean picture here. Let's go right here with let's go with Power Eye. Okay. Once again, the technique that you're playing matters with it, but let's just talk about the 6-2 because that's what we're talking about tonight. All right, so if this tackle right here is playing in a 2-eye, all right, inside eye of that guard, and this guard pulls across the ball, all right, what is going to happen, or what better happen, is that tackle, that center is going to block back. So when that happens, what you want to do is a couple things. One is that if you're teaching, even if you're teaching an aggressive defense that we're on the snap, they're up the field. If you feel that center block back on you, you can do one of two things. If he sees it soon enough, he can actually cross the face, all right? Or in this situation, you already have somebody here in the other A gap. They're probably getting blocked down on. You're probably getting, some type of base here or whatever. You probably would have a near back over here, but you want to do one of two things. If the guard pulls across, you want this tackle to either get in the hip and go with him, all right, or you want him to cross the face of the center right here. I would say in this situation here, if you've got them in a 6-2 and they're aggressive and he knows he's got another A-gap player over here, then to me, he can go ahead and get in the hip and run with the guard and try to run the play down. But at the same time, if there's not an aggressive defense and you're reading up front and the center blocks back, you just want to take this on and you want to cross the face. And then if you're teaching that technique, this guy right here, all right, he's probably getting a down block by this guard. He's going to do the same thing, try to cross the face. The thing that you got to be careful about is that when you teach these, particularly the young kids, all right, they've got to know the difference, in the guard pull, all right, and a zone block, because he could be the backside of the zone right here. And so if he gets that, he just wants to stay in that A gap and keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing. Because if that center comes off on the front side backer or even the backside backer, that tackle right there has got to show up and make the play. If that center, all right, stays on the double team right here, then now he's eating up 2 blocks, and now the backside backer needs to show up and make the play. So I hope that answers your question. Now let's take a look for a second. Let's say you were playing a 3 technique with your tackle. All right. So he's in a 3 technique right here. Now in this situation right here, you probably would have a 2 on the backside. If that guard right there pulls across the ball, all right, then absolutely. I think what you want to do right now is you want to make sure that you restrict this first, because if he takes off and crosses the face too early, that ball cuts back, you've got a seam back here. So that tackle wants to squeeze, all right, and cross late, because you have to make sure that you don't overrun the football, not only as a linebacker, but also as a defensive lineman. Now, I hope it answers your question. You obviously could get a pull outside too, all right, and that's kind of the same thing. You want to squeeze before you cross. You got to be, it gets back to what we originally talked about. Make sure that ball to you, ball away, that you cover your gap responsibility first, all right? Play good fundamental football and then cross the ball late, all right, if you need to. We need to wrap it up here. We got one more question we'll take, and then we'll be back. We'll come back next week and try to answer. And I hope if any of you, if we didn't answer your question, you're like, Coach, you didn't understand what I was talking about, just hit us up with an email. I'll try to rally back. What's the last one, Kendall?
We have 3. One of them, Nay asked, do you have any 3 type? We'll answer that one personally. We'll send you something. And then kind of the same thing. We have 2 people asking roughly the same thing. At the middle school level, which coverage should we teach on defense? Ages 11 to 13, 14.
Okay. Once again, you're right in that fine line, aren't you? We've always said that here. We make the dividing line 12 down here and 13 up here, but obviously there are 12-year-olds that are more developed and there's 13-year-olds that are less developed. But I would say that I would play 2 coverages. All right. Now, what you're going to notice is that it's in that gray area again, because you get down here and you look, all right, and with the 6-2, we've got everything in man coverage. In fact, all of our youth plays on defense, every single one of them, we're playing man. It might be man free, all right? It might be pure man, but it's all man coverage, because once again, we're assuming that quarterback is 12 years old or younger and really has a tough time taking the game over his arm. Now, if you're in a deal, let me go back over here because it shows up a lot. If you're looking for a coverage, how to play a coverage, pretty basic thing, I'd go to varsity defense. All right, I would just go right to 4-3 over, which is really it's a 4-man front, and so I would go to cover 3. And if you're playing, let's say if you're playing a 2-back offense, all right, I'm just gonna go and pick let's pick a good old fashioned. Let's just go 2-back open right here, pro open. This would be the next step from pure man coverage that I would play, meaning that now you've got a 4-man front. All right, once again, you've got all your gap responsibility, but behind it now you begin to start talking about zone coverage, meaning deep third by this corner, deep third by this corner, middle third by the free safety. And now what you've got is you have to start talking about playing curl to flat. In other words, now that strong safety is going to take away the curl and expand to the flat. The Sam backer is going to take away the hook zone, expand to the curl. It's just a mirrored defense back here. Now your Mike backer will take away the hook, expand to the curl. Your Will backer will take away the curl and expand to the flat. This is when you start getting into that there are 3 deep zones here and there are 4 underneath zones here. And it's not impossible, for middle school kids to do this. In fact, I think that's about the time they should learn this. I don't know if I would be getting into any quarters coverage or read or anything like that. The good thing about this is now, you can play this same deal right here, and we'll finish up with this question right here. Because you can play zone defense, but then, and I'm going to turn around, you obviously would draw them better, but you could turn right around and say, okay, we also want to play some man, and we want to, not let I'm not going to make the pictures real pretty here, but you could disguise it. Sometimes it could be man, and sometimes it could be zone. So you can just tell your Will backer got the first back out, Sam backer got the first back out, all right? And then your Mike backer's got the second back out either way, and then somebody else, whoever, if 2 backs go away, now this Will backer is free in the hole, all right? If both backs go this way, now this Sam backer is free in the hole. If the back split, the Will and the Sam have them, and now the Mike is free in the hole. So as you can see, the best thing that I can say to finish up tonight is this. Don't get too advanced. Find a place where your players understand and completely master what you're doing, offense, defense, or special teams. If you do that, then take the next step. But don't throw it all at them, because what's going to happen is they're not even going to be able to line up and play man coverage. They're not even going to be able to line up and do a base block. And so to me, you don't need to overload them mentally, because overly loaded mental players play slow. And sometimes when you play slow, that's when you actually get hurt too. So you need to make sure that your players have a simple game plan, simple rules, and understand what to do. Okay, we're going to wrap this up because we're getting close to an hour right here. I just want to show you a couple things. Now, we're going to announce the winner. All right, Kendall's over there drawing it right now, so hope everybody hung in there. But before we do that, I just want to talk to you that we are offering 25% off everything that we do with First Down Playbook to anybody that's looking tonight. This will not be advertised on our social media. Those of you that follow us know we have a pretty robust social media deal. It's not going to be advertised with our email or anything. The only people who are going to know about this are you and anybody you tell. And the coupon code is Chalk Talk 64, or 64 as in June the 4th. So make sure you write that down. And 25% off, as you can see, this is pretty significant. You're talking about nearly $50 off the youth and varsity yearly deal. You're talking about 60, I think it's 62 or dollars off for the premium, which includes flag. And if you're just interested in flag, we might have some flag people here tonight. It actually, you can get that for $112. And we'll also offer $20 off of a monthly membership, which takes it from $79 to $59. So please write that down. We will offer discounts each week. We do this, but we'll never offer a 25% discount again, just because we're trying to show our appreciation for you being a part of our very first youth football Chalk Talk. All right, Kendall, who do we have? Who's our winner?
Our winner is, using random.com, Bill Larson.
All right, Bill Larson, if you're out there listening, what you need to do is contact us within the next 24 hours. And I should say this promo code that you're looking at here is only good for the next 24 hours. So you've got till 9 o'clock Eastern tomorrow night to use this promo code. All right. And then, Bill, you've got till 9 o'clock tomorrow night to either call us, email us, or whatever, and claim your free 2019 football season membership to First Down Playbook. I'd just like to say I really appreciate it. If you've got ways that we can do it better, let me know. There's probably some things I'm sitting there going like Coach, man, there's a whole lot of ways you could have explained that, or maybe it's different. Maybe, what I do want to do though is I want to teach with our website. I don't think you want to sit there and look at me all night on a deal. So on a chalkboard. So we're going to use our website to teach. But let us know. We're all ears, and we hope that we're helping you. If we're not helping you, let us know how we can. But thank you once again for being a part of our very first First Down Playbook Youth Football Chalk Talk. And we hope to see you next week at 9 o'clock Eastern.